Sorry, I have to mute my end because it's just...
Oh, hi. Oh, it's me. Hi. Hello. Hello, folks. Yes, camera's up there. Screens are all over the place. I think we're in good shape. All right. Welcome back once again to show 51. Holy crap. How did we manage that? I have no idea, but we are here. We have actually successfully managed to get this far in, and I am actually watching some things being joined. Hey, Ron, how you doing? Hey, Jonathan, how you doing? Welcome back. Hopefully the gain on this is not as heinous as it was before. Hey, John. The gain on this is not as heinous as it was yesterday. There was a really hot mic, and I have no idea why that changed. It just changed. Technology is weird that way, but there it is. So let's get this show on the road, or this road on the show. Life. Well, about life. See, I was working at the office, and I got in at 7 o'clock, and I ate lunch at my desk because I was going to be there to receive some stuff and wait for technicians to show up and all those kind of things. And then I got done, and it was about 3 o'clock, and I hadn't eaten lunch, and that's 8 hours, and I was finished. So I said, I'm going to come home. And I came home, and I felt pretty good about the world. So I decided, what the heck, I'll do a show. And here you are, and here I are. And this is a slightly different angle on the camera. We're going to play around with this a lot. When I get the new camera, which should be like next week or so, I can actually put that on a tripod, and then it's going to get really obnoxious just where I place it and all this. I know a lot of folks do, when they do music shows, they have a tendency to work obliquely from the camera for reasons which are still unclear, or they focus on the instrument and not the person. And I can't figure that one out at all either. It's just one of those things. Oh, Amy is hanging out over in the other room, and the cats are all hanging out in the other room, and we'll see just where they run when I start playing. Oh, our chaos embodiment kitty, Domino, is somewhere. Delilah is currently stretched out. That works. Hey, Joe. Yes. All right. Well, of course, the most important thing to do when you're a music act is to tune your instrument. It's usually a good idea to tune your instrument before your audience arrives. But I'm not very good at this, so there it is. I really should put that in the little bar above my head here. The initial disclaimer, I'm not very good at this. That is the official motto of the Troubadork show. Yeah, okay. There are strings. I gotta remember what I'm doing. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Okay, thank goodness for that. Hey, Tom. Yeah, I do feel like I have cool cats. They are pretty darn nifty. Resolve. There we go. So, let's see if I can do this. There we are. A little Jimmy Buffett on what is probably going to be a laid-back Tuesday afternoon show. Maybe laid back. You never try to keep the wild ones home. But mister, don't just sit there and wait. How's the sound level? Go out on the town, making all of the rounds. It won't matter if you're your own date. It's been a while. Vacant, the occupied. Sat on the beach until my body got fried. Dreaming of your pretty eyes up in South Carolina. I can't pronounce my R's and G's when I'm speaking Southernese. Honey, honey, come and do me again. I seen your fat cat style, 300 pounds, a jive-ass smile. Young girls giggling all the while, that's not my cup of chowder. I go for candlelight, cold champagne nearly every night. Honey, do a little dose for me and you. Honey, why couldn't you have taken the non-stop train? I'm hungry, and I really want to see you again. I know it's getting late. Waiter keeps staring at your empty plate. Mater D keeps telling me, sir, she's just not coming. Well, what the hell does Garcon know? We've been through all this before. Honey, honey, come and do me again. Honey, why couldn't you have taken that non-stop train? I'm hungry, and I really want to see you again. Vacantly occupied, sat on the beach until my body got fried. Dreaming of your pretty eyes up in South Carolina. Can't pronounce my R's and G's when I'm speaking Southernese. Honey, honey, come and do me again. One more time. Well, now, honey, honey, come and do me again. Oh, oh, oh. Well, now, honey, honey, come and do me again. If you listen carefully, you can actually hear the moments when I was trying to remember what the heck it was that I was doing in the song that I have not played for well over a week. That's one of the reasons I do these things. But Tom, even if you can't whistle, you have so many talents. I mean, you had the luckiest rock in the world. It's a true story. My good friend Tom Bedlam and his lucky rock. It's not my story to tell, but I will just say this. Based on what he told me, that was one extraordinarily lucky rock. Now, yeah, that's true. It's the cinnamon honey butter that made those rolls good, but this is a very true story and a complete aside, so we'll switch back over to rambling. Because when we were living on the West Coast in the San Francisco Bay Area in the sleepy little town of Milpitas, the smell, you eventually get used to it. That's the unofficial town motto. We were really hard up for finding like what we thought was normal food, having come from Texas. We spent a year and a half in Albany, where we found every kind of food possible in Berkeley, and one diner, which was a decent diner, but it was also, you had to drive all the way into Berkeley, which was exciting no matter who you are. When we moved down and got our house in Milpitas, we were lucky enough that they opened up a Texas Roadhouse in Union City. Is it Texas? Perhaps we should go. And we went, and they had yeast rolls. Now, to explain why the yeast rolls were so very important, you must understand that the atmosphere and the stuff in the air in the San Francisco Bay Area means that every kind of bread you make there is in some way sourdough. Doesn't matter what kind you start with, you'll wind up with sourdough. Except for these yeast rolls, which apparently the recipe, possibly even the dough, was shipped in sealed bags, because it was like, oh my god, regular bread.
They were frozen until they hit the oven.
They were frozen until the bread was okay.
I now know. They were frozen until the bread hits the oven.
They were frozen. The dough was frozen until the bread hit the oven. So it was manufactured somewhere, frozen, shipped, baked, which is okay with bread dough. And she knows this because my beloved wife works in the restaurant industry now. So we have all kinds of strange... Oh, the rock was Welsh. Well, that explains a lot. I see how that works. I love the way this is set up, because now, when the monitor that has all the chat stuff, it's actually right here. So it looks like I'm looking at the chat when I'm reacting to the chat lines. And I think that's hilarious. I think it's fantastic. But yeah, we were absolutely freaked out by the fact that there was non-sourdough bread in the San Francisco Bay Area. So, I will now attempt... Attention. I will now attempt a song that I love to do, and a lick that I've almost come to terms with. As we know, I am simply not the best musician in the world. Tobias the Adequate started as a magician, and enough people asked me what instrument I played. When I told them I was a magician, I took this up in self-defense. So, let me get the notes here, just in case I need them. I do worry that I'm playing the same songs over and over again, and I realize that just about every single musical act out there does that. And that I have, like, according to my notes here, 12 filks, 30 original songs, and 10 covers. That's a fair number of songs, so I feel slightly better about myself. Yeah, there we go. Now, we're going to try this, and I guarantee nothing, because I have not practiced this lick. Renaissance minstrel, minstrel, minstrel. I pray thee, my Lord, will you hear this song? It took me years to write, but will not take too long. It's based on a sonnet by a man named Kit, and I need a patron, so I long to be a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel, 'tis a noble saga of a wandering knight, and his lady's love keeps him up at night. His sons are lowly, squires are schlepp and swords. 'Tis a steady job, but he longs to be a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel, Renaissance minstrel, minstrel, minstrel. 'Tis 100 verses, give or take a few, and I'll be writing more in a week or two. I can make it Latin if you like the sound. Said with summit, and I long to be a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. If you do enjoy it, I can sing it there. I get so tired of wandering from fair to fair. If you must return it, send it to the king. He'll just put his name on it and call himself a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel, Renaissance minstrel, minstrel. Renaissance minstrel, minstrel. Renaissance minstrel, minstrel. Alas, my love, you do me wrong, minstrel. Whew, well, I think that I came out ahead on points against the lick. I think we got there fairly much. Hey, it's okay, Kay. It's all right. You came in on Renaissance Minstrel, and that's as good a place to come in.
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, Kay you did miss Jimmy Buffett, but that's okay. The replay will have it. One other thing that I was playing around with and I learned that I could do, which makes me happy as a programming person, is that I could actually load up all the descriptive stuff that you see in the Facebook post and apparently the YouTube post right now, and maybe even in Twitch, that I usually put in when I just did Facebook. You know, the list of the songs and all the plug information and all that goodness. And I can do that kind of universally, and that makes me feel happy as a content provider. It's all right, but don't worry. We'll get there. I think I now can play 3 Jimmy Buffett songs.
Christelle wants to know what's your channel on YouTube.
Chris, the channel on YouTube is youtube.com/MPLEGARE. Where are you seeing Chris's notes? I bet he's showing up. He's yeah, and still, for some reason, Chris is a West Coast guy. His comments are showing up on the Facebook page, which is why I have it open over here, but they're not showing up on the chat. And I think that's a restream problem. I don't know why. We'll make some inquiries, but keep in mind that I'm not paying for this. So, you know, I'm getting my money's worth. How's the mic? Is it as hot as it was yesterday? Because I know like this thing was like super hot yesterday, and it was blowing some people out, and I wanted to make sure not to blow people out because, well, you know, I like my audience, and I'd prefer them to not die. John's West Coast. So it was Chris, and it was Rick. And I don't know why. Okay. I thought it was like a logistical, locational place. But, here, let me get the, put my, tube.com/MPLEGARE. There we go. And that's also where you can find youtube.com/MPLeguerre is where you can find the Troubadork playlist and all the archives of shows. I'm usually about a week behind. But hey, who hasn't had a week behind from time to time, huh? Okay. Well, yeah, Tom, you're left coast, but you're also on YouTube. So I don't know what it is that's keeping Chris and Rick's comments from sliding out there. Still a little hot? All right, well, we will. Okay, we'll tune it down a little bit. I mean, it may just be that I'm being allowed SOB. I don't know. Well, that's a little bit, yeah, that's, now as I'm talking, the line just goes up to just this side of the yellow band. And hey, now Chris is on YouTube, and I can see his comments. See, there we go. I don't know what's going on, man. Technology is weird and confusing, and this is someone who's saying this is someone who has actually been, you know, a technological person for far too dang long. I have been an IT nerd. Yep, I can see him now, yeah. And his comments are coming up. I don't know what's going on with the left coast thingy. It's just
because he's commenting on YouTube, not on.
Yes, yeah, I can see it too. Yeah, it's just weird. Joan's comments came up, and Joan is on the left coast. Nate, hey Joan, are you South California or North California? That's true. Yesterday, the left coast was being hit by a big old DDoS attack. That's true.
Yeah, Texas doesn't usually get that because we've got the military net.
That is also true. Texas doesn't get a lot of DDoS. Well, you're up in the Bay Area too, John. I got no idea, man. Something out there is just resenting Chris and Rick posting comments on Facebook to my stream. No idea. I don't know. I've turned the microphone down a bit more, so it's not quite as spiky, and hopefully that'll be better. Yeah, not far from where I dropped you off so many years ago. Memories all alone in the moonlight. Nope, not wrong chord. There we go, man. Oh, great. Now I'm going to have to learn that song. Great. Thanks, Joan. You just put another song in my ear. Many, many years ago, a long time ago, before many of the people who watch this feed were born. An anti-Santa Cruz thing. No clue. But there was a big old DDoS, the distributed denial of service attack on the West Coast yesterday. And Texas doesn't get that very much. San Antonio really doesn't get it because it's a military city. And so an awful lot of what was built here was mil-spec in the good way, as opposed to lowest bidder mil-spec, which is a whole other thing, but this conversation we had later. Oh, you're welcome. I love my audience. My audience is good. Yeah, it could very well be. There's still some stuff. I mean, there's some filtering to be done, but I think the filtering is going to have to be done by someone who, there we go. That's a little bit better. I'm also loud and spiky, so it just kind of happens that way. But I am literally learning this as we go. So we'll see what we get. But hey, Alicia, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for supporting Adequacy in our lifetime, I might add. I should probably do another song. I've only done 2 songs. I've got 4 songs to do. That's 3, that's 4. It's a rambly show this week, today. This week, today. It's a rambly show today. I'm not sure about anything else. All right. I have a big problem with pirate stuff. For one thing, I have a tendency to hunch over. I think the mic is hot. I'm pretty sure it is. I've got the thing turned down all kinds of ways here. I'm not certain what to do about it, to be honest with you. Maybe if I bring it down. Huh?
Move it back a little bit.
Move the microphone back into the shot. Maybe I'm too close to it. You know, when you see all these singers, they're always like right on top of the freaking mic, which is just weird to me. All right, we'll try this. We'll try that. Is this mic hot or is it just me? There we go. A little better, y'all? Live sound check. You know, one of these days what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have somebody actually on here who can then remote into my computer and tweak the sound. There we go. Yeah, it is. It's being farther away from the mic. Come listen. Whoa, listen to me, tell me, hearties, heed well to me call. We'll launch our ships and stealthily we'll glide over the wall. We'll land as soft as feathers and we'll deftly pick their locks. We'll pounce upon our prey, me boys, and then we'll steal their socks. So pirate in dirigibles, the sky be where we roam. Just looking for a decent pair without a holy toe. So pirates in the air, me boys, the clouds be where we roam. We'd all turn on as sailors if we just could make our own. The city watch, they know our ship, each one does know our name. They stalk down us poor sailors, and upon us heap their shame. We'll ransack every port in town for hosiery we adore. 'Tis not so much a fetish, more a way of keeping score. So pirates in dirigibles, the sky be where we roam. Just looking for a decent pair without a holy toe. So pirates in the air, me boys, the clouds be where we roam. We'd all turn on as sailors if we just could make our own. We'd almost had our fill, me lads, but we made one stop more. Accosted a fair maiden coming out of the yarn store. This plucky lass, she was quite brave, she did not flinch a bit. She glared us down defiantly and taught us how to knit. Which, when you get down to it, knitting isn't really all that challenging, but it's mostly a matter of keeping track of the actual knits and purls and what goes up and over, as opposed to crochet, which has 47,000 basic stitches and will basically drive you completely bonkers. Sock pirates of the sky, no more, where's how long do we roam? We've all turned on us sailors who know how to turn a toe. Sock pirates in the clouds, no more, we've settled down at home. We've all turned on us seamen now that we can make our home. Yeah. If you watched carefully, you could see the part where I got so caught up in how silly what I was saying was that I actually forgot how to play the song for a moment. These are the kind of quality moments you can get when you watch the Troubadork show. That's correct. Watch right here. One man, 10 fingers, 6 years of university education, pretty much squandered. Liberal arts majors of the world, unite. The ping is really what makes the song, I think. It's just so bloody overindulgent. But that is the entire show, basically, is overindulgence. So there it is. And Michael's here, yay! I like how it's actually telling us that people are joining in. Michael, you're late. That's okay. You can always check the replay for stuff and things. One more song, and then we'll call it for another day. I think it's. I'm glad I was able to get myself together enough to do this show today. I'm also glad that we figured out that it's the bloody microphone distance and nothing technological. It's really bone simple, brain dead, like physics. I'm too close to the mic. The mic is too hot and spiky. Don't have to worry about filters or anything like that crap.
When you didn't have amplification, and now the amplification is biting you.
I learned to project back in the days when I didn't have amplification. Amplification is now biting me in the butt. This ping brought to you with a grant from the Chubb Corporation. So the last song I want to do today is a song that I love dearly and that I realized that over the last 3 months I have been playing wrong. Well, actually I've been singing it wrong because I've been singing the wrong bloody verses. Just awkwardly out of I know it's very strange how streaming stuff works because Amy listens to the show. I point over here, my microphone's in the way. I'm not pointing at the microphone, which is in the shot. I'm pointing at Amy, who's over there. We'll listen to the show on her tablet to make sure that it's coming through, because we had a moment where Facebook, in its infinite wisdom, muted my show because I was using copyrighted material as background music. It's the folk process. It's drift. I drift so bloody much, but I will drift on my own songs. I try not to drift on other people's songs. I realized that I was singing the words wrong because I had started to sing the words wrong at Steampunk November. Does this remind you of a spaniel? But I was doing this song at Steampunk November, and I started singing the chorus wrong. And it's like, oh, wow, no, that's just rude. I mean, granted, if this was a song that was old and ancient and, you know, the people who wrote it were dead, then, hey, how are you? A lot of love for you and your family. Well, thank you. I appreciate that greatly. I do not know people by their call signs on Twitch. So welcome. Random Twitch person, you've actually staggered into the Troubadork show on its nearly the last song. So this is a good time because this is actually a good song. So I'm going to try to do Captain's Log properly with the proper words, and we'll see how it goes. It starts in C. So many songs start in C. Oh, the name of the ship on which we sail is a jolly roving dog, and the crew be bold, the boatswain's old, and we all do love a grog. The captain was was the toughest man whatever sailed the seas. But then one thing finally laid him low, 'twas a nasty French disease. Oh, the name of the ship on which we sail is the Jolly Roving Dogs, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. Oh, a year ago our captain died, old France had finally won. The first mate waited by his side for the setting of the sun. And the last words of the captain to the good crew of the Dog was that no one could ever take his place till they found the captain's log. Oh, we sail the briny oceans on the Jolly Roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. So we searched down in the scuppers and we searched up in the nest. For a time we kept our spirits high with witty words and jests. But soon a gloom surrounded us just like a pea soup fog. For no matter where we looked, we could not find the captain's log. Oh, we sailed the briny oceans on the Jolly Roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. So at last we turned to the great big book that the captain took to sea, in which he kept each day's events as written his story. But nowhere could we find within that their vast and mighty tome any hint to where the captain's log had chosen for to roam. Oh, we sail the briny oceans on the Jolly Roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. Oh, the many logs that we did find, they all do look the same. But we never have found the piece of wood inscribed with the captain's name. Oh, we sail the briny oceans on the Jolly Roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. Yes, we sail the briny oceans on the Jolly Roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. Oh, bienvenidos para esto. I speak very little Spanish. I speak enough Spanish to get myself punched in the face. Well, thank you. I have a fan in Spanish. Con mucho gusto. Con mucho gusto. Soy gringo loco. Entonces. Es muy Sí. Yo entiendo. Yo estudio español para 3 años, 1 año en universidad, pero esta es 30 años, long time ago. I know enough Spanish to get into horrible trouble. I used to know how to say, please do not set fire to my brother, because I thought that would be a very useful thing to know. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This has been yet another hard to explain, yet deeply enjoyable Troubadork non-commute show. I will continue to do these shows until such time as I have to go to the office and stay at the office. The only reason I'm doing these shows now is because I don't have to drive home. So when I'm done with the day, I can just do this. Let's get a few things here. The microphone's moving. Oh, it's in the shot. It's in the shot. It's in the shot. Let's... What? Really? That far back? Okay.
Yes.
Can y'all still hear me okay? I hope so. I'm going to tweak it one little bit, because otherwise I'll be coming entirely out of your left side. So let's figure that one out. Let's talk a little bit about some... Can you say did in a ditch on fire in Spanish? I cannot, but I will wager I will wager that we will have that phrase soon enough. Let's talk a little bit about plugs here. PayPal.com/theadequate is the tip jar. If you want to toss something in the tip jar, then please feel free to. Let's see, Rick and Richard and I think Miranda all tossed a little cash in there, and I appreciate it greatly. Anything that you donate to the show, in the tip jar, goes toward the show. So it's equipment or software, tuners, ukulele strings, music lessons, talent, post-production, auto-tune, something like that. And yes, you too can support Adequacy in our lifetime by going to patreon.com/theadequate. That's right, patreon.com/theadequate. A subscription-based system patronage. If you've got $12 for the year, $12 you don't need this year, $1 a month, basically that's it. There are higher levels. We're still playing around with all the cool things here. Alicia said, when you asked if we could hear you, we were all nodding. That's my audience. Yes, my people. Just as doofy as I am. En un arroyo en fuego. Sí. There are various levels, starting with just, me making sure that I mention your name on every show, which is why it is that I am now going to thank my amazing Patreon patrons once again, who just happen to be, in no particular order, John and Richard and Kaylee and Brian and Lorene and Relly and Alicia and PK. Thank you all very much. Without you here, I would be doing this on less technology. Now we have a cat coming in. It's not. It's a chaotic site. It's always a chaotic scene here at Casa del Adequacy.
Off the table.
Yeah, Alicia speaks the truth. We are all kind of one big goofy clan, and that's a good thing. And I mean clan with a C, as in my people, because Nerd and Geek is actually, I think it actually technically counts as an ethnic group. I'm not entirely sure. I'm certainly not a sociology major. I was a theater major. I want to talk for a moment about the fact that you do want to support your local gaming and craft shops, and that Carpe Diem Comics is the official emotional support comic shop of the Adequate Podcast, Tobias the Adequate's Troubadork show and all that. They are at carpediemonline.square.site, as you saw. I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me once again. This has been a lot of fun. And hey, I have an audience member from Spain. I love the internet. It's an amazing thing. Y'all are amazing people. Now, in a moment I'm going to fade out, and Facebook won't believe that I'm done. We're still working that part out. So it's just one of those wonderful, strange technology things. So I'll do a quick little fade to black here, as we do, because that way I can put the little cards in at the end of the YouTube when I archive it. Thank y'all for hanging out with me once again. I have been Tobias the Adequate, and more than anything, I think I just owe y'all a lot for encouraging my behavior. So thank you once again for encouraging my behavior.